Let's go. We're live, boys.
Nice. No, but I did want to ask you, and I know we can get into it later, but what do you think about the Cowboys over 10.5? First thought. Yay or nay? Over 10.5, bro. It's tough.
That's a tough one. That's Bum. I want to hear your answer first.
10.5. That's hard. That's hard because they could easily win 11 games, but they also easily win fucking 8 games, 9 games. Like you don't know what they're gonna, you know what you're gonna get from them. They're so dang inconsistent.
I thought it was gonna be a lot easier than that.
No,
it's hard. From a Cowboys fan, I don't know. We're 8-8 until otherwise proven, or what is it, 9-8 now?
That's
otherwise proven every year. Like,
all right, go to the intro.
Those 3 or 4 different fucking games. They're a coin flip.
Let's go, baby. And what's good, y'all? Welcome back to the 84 Faith Podcast. You already know it's your boy, Zach Lowry. And y'all know where I'm straight out of that.
Texas, baby.
Man, that VY in the background. Y'all know that's from, right? They used to play that. Yeah, they used to play that on the radio. Anyways, hey, y'all already know I got my boys with me. James, big 1s and 2s, and that boy Biscuit, James. Let's go widescreen. What's good, baby?
What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
I just completely missed the whole other intro. I just realized that I was on the wrong screen. But next time. All right. So I guess to set the story straight today, well, actually, we're starting a series, a fantasy football series where we're kind of just going over every position, breaking down them by tiers, and then at the end we'll do a mock draft because hopefully it'll be about the time drafts are going down. Teams are going to be starting to get drafted, and hopefully this will help all 3 of us.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I guess to start off, and I know it's going to be different on every strategy or every league that you're in, but let's just talk about your standard ESPN 10-man, 12-man PPR league. What's kind of, and I guess I'll start, quarterbacks for me are if you can get a lockdown quarterback, and what I mean lockdown, one that's going to get you that 20-plus points a week, if you can get him in the top 5 rounds, you need to make an effort to get him. But if it's not that important to you and you feel like you can get value other areas, then you let him go. But for me, I've never been one to reach for a quarterback early. I like to get the mid-grade ones, maybe even try to get a high tier 1 for, maybe a tier 2 price. But if that doesn't happen, I'm good with chilling. Like for instance, 2-3 years ago in my 14-team league, I drafted Jalen Hurts. Like this was the year before he went like really yam. I drafted him like the 9th round. So in that league, to me, that was good value on someone who showed good potential for the next year. I was able to keep him in that league in the 9th round for the following year, which was like really good because he started to fall in the 2nd round. Anyways, I say that it don't always work like that. I got in the league that we're in, James, I got Joe Burrow around the same area last year, and we know what type of year he had. First 4 games, he was averaging 8.7 points.
And then he got hurt. I mean, he's been battling injury.
Then he balled. Then he got hurt.
Well. That's a great point, Bum. That's a great point. The 4 weeks I started him, I sat him. You know what I'm saying? And then
Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. So talking about, and I didn't even move us down, but talking about the quarterback strategy, I like to let the quarterback fall to me. I'm 9 times out of 10, maybe 8 times, I'm not the first one to take a quarterback.
No, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm never going to go take quarterback in the 1st round, except for like in a keeper where, like last year I had Josh Allen in our league the year before, and I kept him. It cost me a 1st round pick, but I mean, is it either that or the number 1 scoring quarterback, and did it again for me last year, averaged like 26 points a game, something like that.
Yep.
But
that's a great point. If
really,
you kept him for what though? Probably something cheap, right?
Oh, this last year or the year before is like a 4th round pick or something, 3rd or 4th round pick. Like, but
like that.
This year's gonna be a first. But anyway,
I was about to say I think his average draft position is a first this year.
I think he's 17 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's a 2nd round pick.
Oh, you're right. 16. I'm sorry. You're right. 16.
It depends on the year, really, but like, yeah, I mean, it also depends on like where you're picking in the draft. If I'm looking at that 10th and first pick of the 2nd round or whatever, 12th and first pick of the 2nd round,
if you can get that comeback,
I might be looking at him in the 2nd if it's like the number 1 quarterback that you're guaranteeing. But most of the time, I'm waiting on 3rd, 4th, 5th round for those tier 1 quarterbacks.
There's always somebody in the draft.
But that's the thing. You gotta know your league. Who's gonna reach? People be reaching.
Yeah.
Like people want to get that stack.
Know your league.
People want to get that stack, and if you don't know what stacks mean, you get the quarterback and the receiver. And so people be reaching like that for
your league, baby,
for a stack. But yeah, it depends on the year. But for the most part, quarterbacks are pretty. They don't really get you a ton of points. It's like 15 to 18. For once you drop off those first like 5-6 guys, the rest of them are just right there in the pack. So you can really wait and reach if you want to go 2 quarterback approach and play the matchups.
I happen
most people do that. That was fantasy football for like the first 15, 20 years of fantasy football.
There was no studs, right?
Stack up on running backs and take whatever quarterback you can get.
Yeah. Now running backs are virtually impossible to get past the 1st or 2nd round.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just injury, and you don't know. Like, it's just everybody. There's no bell cow backs no more.
Appreciate that love, Dro. We appreciate that love, Dro.
Oh, what's good?
I agree. So
Man,
would you be more inclined to take? I'm just going to throw, knowing where they're probably landing at this year. Let's just say Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. Would you rather take one of those guys and say the first? Let's say you say Josh Allen's 16, Jalen Hurts overall draft position is 26, Pat Mahomes is 38. Lamar Jackson's is 40. So one of those, or like, would you rather sit back and take like, a Jared Goff at 95 overall draft position?
I mean, I'd rather it just kind of depends on how my draft's working out so far, and like how I'm feeling about it. But like if I can get a stack, if I can get like the number 1 receiver and then a stack in the late 2nd or early 3rd, I'll try to do that with one of those guys. Because I want to manage my roster the best way possible. I'm not going to take guys based on position and whether other people are drafting them. So I kind of see what my roster is first, and didn't get the most talent based on like who I like with who I'm picking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd risk it for one of those guys, or like in the late mid round or late early rounds, like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round.
I think I would too. Well, when we get to
what about some of those rare leagues where your roster can field not only a starter, but your basically your flex can be any. So you could, I mean, theoretically, then you want to start 2 quarterbacks. So then you might want to quarterback.
That's me. The scarcity of the position where there's only 30 quarterbacks that start. Whereas you're filling out the rest of your team with running backs and receivers because there's 4 receivers on the depth chart, 3 running backs on the depth chart. There's only one guy getting snaps at quarterback. And that's why you got to load up on all the guys that got to get snaps. And when it's a 2 quarterback league, because then you're talking about having 3 quarterbacks on your roster, probably.
Yeah.
Starting
2 of them.
Yeah,
I might
you're taking one. Okay, so if you
might have 4 quarterbacks on your roster, maybe 5 on those 2 quarterback leagues.
Quarterback strategy.
Just know your league.
That exactly. You're more than likely taking one early. First round.
Yeah.
So you're taking
a dynasty even.
Yeah.
What they got for the long haul.
So strategy-wise, take into consideration, I guess bottom line, take into consideration your league, who's in it, how many people can you put, or how many of that position can you put on your bench, shit like that.
Your roster, all that stuff should, what your bench, what your scoring is. So like know your league, and then that can help you form your draft strategy from there.
There you go.
I feel like I'm like super low, but let me just
we need to add that to the little topic of discussion on the mock draft strategy.
Yep.
How you gonna do that?
For sure. So knowing that, let's move in this. The tiers that we're kind of going to go over here are based off tiers that I put together off one of my little articles that I started to write. So we're going to start with mine. The guys will chip in, tell me what they hate, what they like, and then we'll just go from there. So, and I was talking. It was funny. I was talking to K-Dub outside of this, and he was like, "Tell me your first tier." And I told it to him. He was like, "All right, well, tell me your second." And I was like, "Nah, bro, you got to tune in tonight, bro. You got to tune in tonight to catch it." And I ended up telling his ass too. Look, he probably on the game now. So moving on. Let me throw up the third tier. We'll in what I want to do really is let me present and share my screen. You guys can tell me what you like and what you don't like about the tiers that I've put together. Let me delete these guys right now. And
before that, the way we tier quarterbacks. Why you a top tier quarterback is because number one, you're going to be consistent, right?
Where's my shit at? There we go. Boom.
The way we tier these guys, to be up there in that top tier, you got to be consistent. You got to give me these top points every week. I'm looking for 20, probably a little more than that, 20, 22, 24, depending on your league scoring.
Yep.
You know, I want the chance for your ceiling to be in like the 30s. Where your floor as a tier 1 quarterback should be about 22 points.
And to even go into that even further. So right here, the S stands for superstar. That means fantasy wise, and I want to clarify that too. Fantasy points wise, this is not who we think is the best quarterback in the league. This is strictly fantasy points.
Very different.
Rushing, yeah, absolutely. Rushing, have to take into consideration the rushing, the passing, everything, right? So, that was a great layout for that bump. No. So with that said, we'll start with our tier 3 or the tier 3 that I guess I've put together, I guess you could say. Yeah. So, and not anyone. I'm not going to go in any order. This is not ordered. I'm just throwing out the tiers, and then we'll go from there. So, one, and this is all objective, right? People can think differently. Whatever, right? So, the first one that I have, we'll start here with, and let me just make sure I find him, Kirk Cousins. I know most people probably feel, especially with his options this year, signing with the Falcons in March, but I mean, they really got rid of a bunch of the Falcons. That is, they got rid of Desmond Ridder, so they got Kirk. I guess the number one thing is they have Kyle Pitts, they have Drake London, they have Bijan Robinson. How you feel about him? How you feel about me throwing him here too in tier 3?
I like him at the bottom tier. I don't think I think the tier should be a little more. I think we need maybe one more tier to the bottom of that.
Sure.
Because I don't like him as much, just because the scheme they're going to be in, they're going to be a little more run heavy. He's a little older.
Sure.
He's got some weapons around him now, but I mean, he's got.
When you think about it, I don't think
off injury.
That's okay. So that's probably the one thing people are looking at, and coming off an Achilles. Average draft position for Kirk Cousins is
low as fuck.
Let's see,
117 or about
114. Yep,
or 136 on ESPN ADP.
Yep. And just for reference, you're checking ESPN. I'm checking Fantasy Pros. So
I'm checking PFF's aggregate.
I'm not drafting him, but
yeah. I mean, yeah. This is the waiver. We'll call this the waiver wire tier. Bye week tier. If he's on the bye week 10, I'm good. I'm good. But I don't want to. I mean, maybe if you have a deep enough bench on the roster as your backup, but I mean, just because there's some potential there. I mean, we've done it in the past, but he don't got Jettas right now. He got some talent squad, but he don't got Jettas.
But even so, he got hurt. But even before he got hurt, he started off hot. Like really hot in Minnesota. I think he was almost leading the league in passing yards, 18 touchdowns. He only had like 4 or 5 interceptions at the time. I think it was 8 games or 9 games. But that Achilles, to your point, is probably going to set him back. But those, I think people might be sleeping on Drake London. And did the Falcons also acquire somebody? I feel like they acquired somebody that I'm sleeping on that I can't remember. Maybe
I know they did some dumb stuff in the draft. They got a backup quarterback.
Oh,
the first pick.
That's probably what it is.
So yeah,
Okay.
maybe there's some job insecurity there, but they also gave him a bag, so I would think his job is secure for next year, at least probably 2 years. Because Penix probably isn't ready yet, but
they brought in that quick dude at receiver from the Bears, Darnell
Mooney.
How about this question? So we got Kirk Cousins at 138 on the ESPN GDP. What's he on? What was he on Fantasy Pros?
114.
114. So on ESPN's ADP, we're gonna talk about this guy here in a minute, but Tua is 135. So he's 3 spots above Kirk Cousins.
Okay, so
on the average draft, what is Tua on Fantasy Pros?
96. So
there's a pretty big gap there.
To your point, let me just go ahead and throw him up here because Tua is another person who is on my tier 3.
Okay, yeah. See, so we should have. I think we should split that tier up just a little bit.
Wait a second.
The bench tier and the waiver tier.
Tua,
AB bench tier, waiver tier.
Tua's got to be. He's got to be higher than that, right? Second tier? No.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. See, one thing about tiers is tiers is going to be one based off your league and how you do it, frame it yourself. My first tier only has 4 people in it. So most people's first tier maybe has 2 or 3.
Mine has 3.
I've got 4. My second tier has, shit. My second tier's got 8.
Our tiers are a little stacked, so we got
7.
Yeah, he's probably a fringe second to third.
So let's work our way through, and then once we get through, then we can start to really rank them if we want to rank them that way. So Tua, and I threw Tua on here really because he's got a cannon. One, he's got Tyreek Hill. He's with the emergence of the run game, Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane. I do think, just kind of touching base on those 2 guys, I do think Devon Achane is the guy there. Raheem Mostert is someone to hold on to, but I think Devon Achane is going to cut into that play this year a lot more than he did last year.
He's got 3 guys. He's got 3 guys that he can run. He can toss a little screen pass or drag route to, and they can house it, and it gets him the touchdown in passing.
They pay Jalen Waddle. Everyone's taking care of pretty much.
Too on the
he's got the weapons. It's just the fact that this is the first. The last year he stayed healthy. It was the first year he stayed healthy, and also when it gets cold, so does he. That's the problem.
And so this is his 5th season. Coming into his 5th season, he's really got to. Did he lead the league in passing yards? I think
for a while. I don't know if he finished that way, but I know for a while he was up there.
I want to say he led the league, and his completion percentage jumped up tremendously from the year before. So it wasn't enough. Now the Tyreek Hill alone almost put him in the second tier for me, or
that's the only reason that I'm saying that is because the slant routes and these short routes that guys can house. The weapons around him makes him a friend.
So actually, you know what? This is actually my 4th
tier 2.
Okay, so I like that, Bum. I like how you was able to dissect that and throw that in there. So the next person who also, and I'll pick it up just a little bit more, Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Now I have Aaron in there, and you would think, you almost feel like he would be a little bit higher, but I'm not sold on the name yet, and I still have the thought of him running out with that American flag at that game, and then what happened at that game?
Getting 4 snaps,
4 plays later.
As he aims to roll back, what is he 4-time MVP? So
105.
I need to see him in that Jets uniform, but with the addition of Mike Williams, that's going to help Garrett Wilson get open a little bit more. Mike Williams is huge, by the way. And then they drafted Malachi Corley in the 3rd round, so they're adding people to help them. They also took my boy Tyron Smith from the Cowboys to help shore up that line. So if they keep him upright he has a chance. He really has a chance to be a fringe too, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. He's not only 4-time, what'd you say, 4-time MVP?
Yeah.
He's 4 times decades old. That's getting up there, bro. You got to stay healthy, my man.
He does. He does.
Come on, you got to, like you said, stay upright, stay in the pocket, and he can still sling it. So
1,000. Wow.
He's basically the on the offensive coordinator on the field for them, because I mean he knows the system better than I think their offensive coordinator knows the system.
Right.
They kind of clowned him last year in Hard Knocks, talking about you can't do that protection or you can't run that formation, that play or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he can definitely be the field general that you want on your bench, I guess, if things get bad. It's kind of like, I have him about tier 4, tier 5, in that area, just because all the weapons around him, they got the potential. I just don't know how much they're going to rely on him to be the guy in the pocket, standing there and slinging it, going gun every play.
They're going to
be handing the ball off a lot.
Yep, they're going to ride Breece Hall.
Formation,
a lot of Breece Hall.
A lot of 11 personnel, probably maybe some 12 personnel.
They wanted to see more Breece Hall last year.
21 personnel, but
so
I like Breece Hall a lot this up.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, you liked him last year too. You were one who was on him a little bit last year too. So, okay, moving on. Look, next person throwing up here, I got Baker. Now, like I said, this is not in any order. This is nothing like that, obviously. But he played in all 17 games for Tampa Bay last year, finishing no lower than 10th in pass attempts in any game.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, he's out there throwing the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Actually finished no lower than 10th in passing attempts and in completions.
Mm.
So, I mean, he's out there slinging, and hey, do I need to stand up? You know who he's throwing it to.
DOI, baby.
I'm just saying. I mean, that he low-key may be my favorite receiver in the league today besides CD. But, I mean, Mike Evans out there. Like, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I say probably a couple months ago at this point. I think about midway through the season, Baker knew. I just got to get it in the vicinity of Mike. It don't got to be on point, Mm-hmm. And he had a couple rushing touchdowns, so we'll take it. You like Baker? I mean, he still got Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
He still got Mike.
Solid.
What is the tight end's name? Big white dude.
They got Brayton, somebody else. Cameron Brayton, somebody else. What's his name?
Man, I can't think of the other dude's name.
Wait, what?
Cameron Brayton.
Tight ends for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Brayton. What's his name?
It was a young dude, young, big Iowa name dude. Iowa name dude.
I mean, the offense ain't changing that much. They are losing their coordinators. So that kind of he had his best year with Canales. He went to help out. What's his name? Young in Carolina.
Yeah. What is it?
So the Canales, Dave Canales.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So I think losing him is going to hurt him a little bit, but he's still not I don't think the offense is still going to be kind of a similar system. I think they got the guy from with Liam something. I don't know, but their OC is like he's a McVay guy, so I think they should. I think that should work pretty well.
You had me at McVay.
Yeah, that's what the rest of the NFL says too.
I mean,
you get a hot coach you get like attached to a name in the NFL. You get his job for life somewhere doing something.
That's a good point.
It's Cade Otton.
Cade Otton. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Mm-hmm.
That's
I was tripping. They had Cameron Brate last year. I think he's a free agent right now.
I was gonna say I think they signed somebody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Cade Otton is the name that escaped.
Baker down there. I mean, again, these are all kind of bench tier guys or waiver wire guys. You're looking for a flyer.
Yep.
Maybe you get like a week 8 matchup. Your best quarterback's hurt.
Maybe. Yep.
A bye week plug-in. You know what I'm saying?
Plug-in.
Now, this next one, I've already added him on there, so there's no suspense to be held here. But Justin Herbert.
Herbert that low?
I'm coming. Oh, look at Dro. I'm tripping, Dro.
What's he doing?
Boom, look.
He said in the chat. He said, Otton. He's over there screaming at us.
He said, "Chat coming in clutch." Hey, that's my dog. So Justin Herbert, right? New coach. I mean, we know he's got the talent, and K-Dub and I would actually talk about Justin Herbert and the fact that, like, if you line him up next to Dak Prescott, you know what I'm saying? Like, most people would probably pick Justin Herbert, but like Dak Prescott's record is a little bit better, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. To your point, yes, younger, one of the more talented arms in the quarterback. Luckily, he's got Jim Harbaugh to help him out for this rebuild. But they are very thin at receiver core. Mm-hmm. Like stupid thin. They lost Keenan Allen. They lost Mike Williams. They lost Eckler. Who is going to make up for this lost production? You know what I'm saying? So I know he's got a cannon. I know he has an arm. It's just, I couldn't put him anywhere else but here, even though he's got the physical traits. Mm-hmm. And I think they're going to run the out of the ball.
Yeah. I'm kind of weird. Last time we saw Harbaugh in the NFL, he was pistol, like he had Kaepernick, and so he was a little more mobile in his quarterback scheme, but they still ran the ball.
Yep.
If anybody can elevate
going into the draft, I'm going to focus on the offensive line and running the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just going to take pressure off Herbert to do what he does. They're going to run a lot of play action stuff, and so hopefully that'll give those lesser talented guys some time to get open. But like I think he can elevate the roster for sure. But he definitely lost a lot of talent. I think all new starters at X, Y, and aren't running back.
Yep.
I don't even know who their tight end is anymore. It used to be what's his name? He's so good. He was just fast. But he got hurt, didn't he? He's always hurt.
Damn, I'm for sure having some brain farts today.
No, all them tight ends are together. But yeah,
I almost said it.
If you were to give me like a ranking of the skill groups, he'd be in the bottom third of the league for sure with talent surrounding him. But
yeah, good point.
I think also new head coach coming in, gonna be a little more conservative. But yeah, I like the ranking down there just for that. But if it was a normal year, he'd probably be my B. If he had some talent in my A, even in the A tier, because he's comparable with talent wise alone. For him, he can do it. It's just what he's surrounded with.
For sure. Okay, so I don't know if I'm gonna rub anybody wrong here with this next one, but Caleb Williams. I think based off of the receiving room alone, I think is going to help him succeed. Obviously, they drafted him with the first pick in the 2024 NFL draft. Mm-hmm. He was stellar at USC for most of the time. There was a couple questionable games, whatever, but finishing with a single season school record, I think he was like almost 5,000 passing yards. Excuse me. Second in rushing yards. I'm just looking at a couple of his stats here. I mean, can he fill the shoes of Justin Fields with a better receiving core and a better running back core? I mean, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, the running back, DeAndre Swift. Those right there.
Cole Kmet. Big target. I mean,
Cole Kmet. Bum.
I think he is going to be better than Chase Young. Fantasy year wise,
DN,
The
DN?
No, sorry, not Chase Young.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, my bad.
Oh, I was like, damn. I was like, the DN.
Then Bryce Young, because Bryce Young.
I said Joe Montana,
but I don't think he's going to have a good a year as who's the other guy?
Like Cam?
No, who's the number 2 quarterback last year? It was between. Your boy in Houston. I don't think he's going to have. I don't think he's going to have any kind of CJ Stroud breakout. I think it's somewhere in between those guys, more close to CJ Stroud. But
I think
he'd be right in the middle. But the problem with him is his play caller.
Wait, you don't think he's going to have a CJ Stroud rookie year? You mean you don't think he's going to follow up the best year ever with another best year ever?
But the thing is, like, he has the talent around to do that.
Yeah.
Because they definitely boosted their receiving core. They boosted their O-line. It's just that, like, do you trust his play caller? They have an easy strength of schedule. So, I mean, if you're looking at taking a flyer on a guy late, sure, yeah.
We got
again, but I'm not drafting him.
Two more to put on here, and I almost put this guy. I really have a hard time putting rookies higher than this tier, honestly.
That's fair.
But I almost put him even higher than Caleb Williams with Jaden Daniels. And I only have one more person in this tier. So, I mean, obviously, not obviously, but honestly, I'll be real with you. I watched one game of his in college, right? Before, I mean, only, and it was when he was at LSU, not before he was with Arizona State.
Yeah, his first couple of years.
Yeah. So I didn't watch any of those games, but the LSU game I watched, I feel like there was no one else on the field with speed like his. He reminded me of a Pat White back in the day. Do you remember Pat White from West Virginia?
Yeah.
He reminded me of him, but he was like a little bit thicker, I guess you could say. Anyways, Commanders drafted him second overall this past year. Cliff Kingsbury is now directing the offense, so I guess that's something to think about.
What he
Heisman, yeah, Heisman Trophy winner. He's the Jaden Daniels is the Heisman Trophy winner. Cliff Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator now. From what I've been seeing, what I've been reading, they plan on using him a lot like Cam Newton. So rush yards will definitely come into effect here, which is one of the reasons why I put him in my top 3 tiers. What are your thoughts? I mean, rushing yards. Go ahead.
A lot bigger than him, though. No.
Yeah,
I 1,000% thicker, but I think Jaden Daniels is like 225, 220, something around there. I think Cam's like
he's listed at
260.
He's listed at 210.
Okay, 210. You're probably right. So Cam's got like 50 pounds more than him. But my point is they plan on using him as far as running read options and shit like that.
Yeah. If he stays healthy and can prove it, then take a late fly on him.
And if the
Did he freeze?
Oh shit!
You can hear me, James?
Yeah,
James?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Oh shit! So Z just froze.
Oh shit!
Z lost his shit. I wonder if we can text him if he realizes it or not.
All right. Well, let me see here. I wonder who his next one on tier 3 is going to be. Oh,
I don't know, but he said
I'm back, I think. God damn.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know what. Hey, I'm over here staring at the thing. I was like, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I just saw a bunch of circles. Anyways, I don't lost my train of thought. Jaden Daniels.
How about Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, so watching him run in the LSU game, the one game that I watched, I really felt like he was faster than anybody on the field, bro. So knowing that Cliff Kingsbury, Cliff was the coach for Kyler, I gotta assume that they're gonna have some sort of running game for the quarterback intact, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say he's a good little flyer to take. I don't think he's gonna have like an Anthony Richardson type, rushing.
Agreed.
Because he's a little more slender, but I think Cliff Kingsbury does have a track record of success with scrambling quarterbacks and mobile quarterbacks, and I think that if you're gonna take a flyer on a guy, take a flyer on a guy that runs the ball for sure.
Yep.
But,
yep. Even as like a bye week guy or something, if you can.
Yeah.
Or if you got a keeper league, maybe you've already drafted a quarterback and you want somebody for maybe next year. It could be a good flyer as well.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least for tier 3, and some people could maybe put him in tier 4 based off of half the year that he had last year. Brock Purdy. I mean, he returned from that UCL surgery from the year before. Remember, he got hurt in the playoffs which essentially let the Eagles make their way to the Super Bowl, if you ask me, because I think the Niners kind of have the Eagles number. Mr. Irrelevant in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he put up fringe quarterback 1 fantasy numbers last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he averaged 18 fantasy points per game. You're really looking for 20 plus, but I mean, at that point, you're fringe 1, I guess. So,
right.
I think we all know what Brock Purdy is. We don't need to go too much into him. So Next up, how about this? How about I just throw you my next one for tier 2? The next tier 2 quarterback.
Oh, wait. We're moving on without. Yeah, I still see Zach Wilson up there.
oh, you mean down here?
Yeah.
No, we're not even placing everybody. We're only doing the first.
Okay.
We're only doing the top 3 tiers. Really, there's another tier down here for like Daniel Jones and like Levis and people like that, right?
But they just gonna stay on the waiver wire, so forget them.
Yeah, for now. I guess we could go back, but so all right. So tier 2. Let's move. We're moving on to tier 2, but also same as last time. This is not in any particular order, right?
Yeah.
All right, tier 2, first one on the board.
Let me guess. It's Trevor Lawrence.
That's actually a pretty good guess. Is that a good guess? Is he tier 2? He's on it. Yep, but we're going with Joe Burrow.
Joey B.
Yep. This is Joe's 5th season. Now he's aiming to bounce back after, obviously, I guess we could say an injury-filled season last year. Calf injury in training camp. I trust me, I know this vividly, boys. Calf injury in training camp affected practice time. Came out and balled for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and then a wrist injury where he essentially just threw his wrist tendon out of socket, place, tore it apart, whatever. During weeks 1 and 4, he averaged 7.9 fantasy points. From 5 and 10, he showed his potential. He was averaging 22 plus points a game through weeks 5, 10. And then obviously week 11, he got hurt, but obviously you still have to take into consideration Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, the tight end. What is the tight end? He came from Minnesota. Dro, help me, from Minnesota. No, Hawkinson is now in Detroit, but
Detroit, I'm tripping.
This tight end, he wasn't that good. He was drafted early, big guy, big name guy. Damn. Either way, he's got that tight end too. I even drafted him last year in my fantasy draft, hoping he would pan out to be a good tight end, but he ended up not.
Heath, what's his name?
You said Heath?
No, they had
that sounds wrong from the start.
Hey, that's wrong from the jump. I'll tell you who it is right now. Smith, Irving Smith, is that it?
No, Mike. They have Mike Gesicki this year.
Irv
Smith, that's who it was. So, but now they have Mike Gesicki. Yes,
Mike
okay.
Gesicki, yeah.
Okay. All right, so I mean, knowing they have those guys, Jamar Chase is still a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Asking some. I mean, I'm sorry, Joe Burrow, top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Having Jamar Chase only helps that case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess again, the inconsistency with Joe Burrow, and it's not really, I don't know if it's necessarily him, but I mean, it's the offense, the play caller again, and kind of one of the more middle of the road play callers, and he does have Jamar Chase, so at any point in time they could go, they'll have a little 3 or 4 touchdown game with a bunch of yards, but I'll probably B tier is good. The tier 3 is good.
This is really honestly, this is tier 2. I only did 3 tiers. We probably should have done a little bit more, but I only did 3 tiers. So this would be
tier 3. Yeah, tier 3. He's probably in the top 8 quarterbacks to take off the board. Yeah, I would say maybe 10. Depending.
Boom. Well, this is really what it is right now. I didn't do too much. All right, so Joe Burrow. Let's see. The next guy I have up here, Anthony Richardson. Now, the reason why I like Anthony Richardson is really based off of his first 3 NFL games that he played last year. I mean, he was on pace for over 700 yards rushing, double-digit rushing touchdowns. That shoulder injury that caused him to miss those 13 games obviously is going to make you think maybe about drafting him. But also consider that it was his rookie year. When you're a rookie, if you get hurt like that, they're probably going to more than likely play it a little bit more easier, play it calm, maybe not rush you back into play. So they said, hey, let's just shut him down, let him take the rest of the year off. So I don't think maybe if he gets seriously hurt, they'll pull him out. But like, I think if any sort of like minor injuries, he's in there, bro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the potential is definitely there for him. I mean, we saw it last year, but also that shoulder injury is the same one that took Cam out. So, like, I want to see how he bounces. I haven't really seen him. I haven't been following along with his doing.
Now he's been drawing comparisons to dual threat quarterbacks like Cam Newton and Josh Allen. He got that size.
So I want to see how he bounces back from that shoulder injury, because that's what ruined Cam Newton's career from being a just dynastic level talent, because Cam Newton was freaking cold. But I want to see how his shoulder bounces back, what kind of arm strength he's got. I haven't seen him throw yet, but I think they run him a little less because of that. Maybe they're more cautious, or maybe they just try to get all the juice out of the orange they can squeeze, and just keep running like they would Cam or something, or RG3. But I mean, he definitely has the potential, because you always want running quarterbacks. They get you those extra points, because a lot of leagues have the yards and the touchdowns.
I'm about to say crucial. Jalen Hurts last year had 15 rushing touchdowns. Like 8 of them were from the push tush. That's crazy. Like that could change your season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
especially like in a lot of leagues, it's a pass to touchdowns 4 points, whereas a rush touchdown 6. With those extra 2 points.
Yeah,
those other additional touchdowns you scoring.
Yep. All right, moving on. Next one. Next quarterback I have on my list, Jordan Love.
And I like this guy.
Bum. You can attest. I know K-Dub can get in the chat and attest. Last year, I was in the chat talking about, hey, y'all, Jordan Love might be that guy. He might be nice. And now I'll say this. I feel like I was eating my words the first, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, because he wasn't doing nothing. But at the end of the year, he turned it on.
Yeah.
Turned it on.
I think he's in that tier too. He definitely has the weapons around him, and he looks good. He looks the part. Another year of being the guy. Another offseason of being the guy and getting those reps. I think he's poised for good things too. Yeah, I think it's a good spot for him. He's probably the top 8 quarterbacks he drafted also.
Yep. Last year was his first year as the full-time starter, 2023. Despite me, like I said, telling the boys, especially K-Dub, over and over again. But he was going to be that guy. He surprised me. He finished the fantasy quarterback season quarterback 7 last year, bro. Secured 6. Yep, secured 6 top 10 finishes in his last 8 games and ranked 8th or better in passing yards, attempts, and completions and touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he's a fringe QB1 this year for me. He's one of those guys, and I hope my 14-team league is not looking at this, but he's one of those guys I'd be keeping an eye on and hoping to get lucky with, and with a deep late round pick. You know what I'm saying? The quarterbacks are eventually gonna fall, and he's actually going a lot earlier than I thought. He's actually going 63. Around 63. I think that's round 8, something like actually round 8, round 9. That would be ideal, honestly.
I think that's round 7.
It could be. Also to that, and we'll get into this when we get into receivers. He has a receiver that I want to talk about who I think might have a breakout Tank Dell type of year. We'll get to that. I knew you liked that, bro.
You should add one more tier, because I actually do think those guys are more C, and there's only 1 or 2 superstars that I would put above A.
Agreed. Hold on, because we'll get there. And the reason why I did it is because we're already at 45 minutes. So I already knew that we was going to go into it. So with that said, the next quarterback that I have on the top, this is tier 2, CJ Stroud. Now, I know there's an argument to have him in the top tier, but as I told you guys earlier, I've only got 4 people in my top tier. So there's going to be at least 5 or 6 in this bitch. But impressive rookie season. Only the 5th rookie ever quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards or more.
He led the league in yards per
attempt
game or yards per attempt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So he lacks rushing volume. That's fine because his fantasy value lies in that pocket proficiency and the way he sits in that thing. I mean, it's low key Tom Brady-esque in my opinion. Like,
he's wild.
Like it's like a beautiful thing, honestly. Like to see him sit in that pocket and to like walk up in that pocket at such a young age and it's actually great. Like I'm so happy I'm at the age now and I get to watch him because like probably like 15 years ago I'd be like, no, fuck CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
You know, just because I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm in Texas. You know what I'm saying?
The
So
fact that he's finally on a team that I've always seen teams with guys like that come out of college and are amazing, and I'm like, why can't the Texans ever get a guy like that? We always suck, you know.
So
we draft Sage Rosenfels. All right.
So he finished 7th in fantasy points output last season, right? And then he also benefits from the receiving core, Nico Collins, Tank Dell returning, and not to mention who? Stephon Diggs, who.
But he didn't. But he did all of that last year without these added weapons this year.
Great point.
Mixon and Diggs. So of any of the guys, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Texans fan and I'm a homer, but of any of the tier 2 guys that could get to that next level, we got to prove it, right? Because we're not sneaking up on anybody. Strength of schedule.
Not this year. Nope.
Everybody's going to be gunning to be like, oh man, let's see if the Texans are really all that. So if he can prove it this year and ascend to that top tier, then baby, watch out. The next couple of years are going to be nice.
Yeah. He's got the talent around him. He showed it's all about the consistency at this point, whether he's a superstar level guy or not. I think fantasy football wise, I would take him over Mahomes. If you want to fantasy, just because he much like Mahomes, he drives that offense. Like they don't really get the rushing touchdown numbers. I mean, they both kind of scramble when it's needed, but they go for about 15, 20 yards a game maybe. But the way that they rely on him to control the offense and move the ball down the field and put points
impressive.
And I would take him over Mahomes because I think that he has more just because he has more weapons. He's got the one thing you can't.
Does he?
Can't account for.
Oh, absolutely.
Who?
Okay. Hey, we're gonna get into it.
The one thing that you can't account for, obviously, for any of these guys though, is just staying healthy. And
sure,
I just hope and pray and wish and that CJ Stroud stays healthy this season, so we get to see that full second year.
By the way, in James's keeper league, someone picked them up off the waiver wire, so they get him for a 15th round pick.
What? When?
That's me. By the
way. Hold on, he didn't get drafted?
I don't think he did. I picked him up off waivers.
But if he got drafted, he's in that. Oh, anyway, we can talk about it later.
Okay, so
that is sneaky though.
Is that Justin Herbert on there twice?
I also had Anthony Richardson.
All right. Moving on, I think it's time we throw a little star power in this B. Mr. Dak Prescott.
Move him down.
Yeah. So Dak. I mean, I know it's easy to hate on Dak. I know as a Cowboys fan, it's easy to hate on Dak, but if you think he really rebounded last season, if you think about it, I mean, he finished third among QBs in fantasy points, and he was only one of only 4 players to average 20 fantasy points per game last year. So chances are he ended up on one of the top 4 teams in the league. He led the league in completions and threw 36 touchdowns, the highest among any quarterbacks last year, which is really kind of crazy when you think about it. I mean, he gets all this hate. I mean, he blows the big game. I don't want to say he blows the big games, but as I was telling like Corey earlier, like in the big game, he came out and said after he lost to Green Bay, he came out and said it didn't slow down or it didn't click for him until it was too late, which was after halftime. That can I don't want to hear that from my quarterback. Like, keep that to yourself, please. Like, don't tell us that. And two, as a quarterback, you cannot do that. You need to be locked in. Like, this is the time to be locked in, right? Like,
yeah, he's too old to make that to not be coming through in the clutch and doing. I mean, I don't have to turn to Skip Bayless over here, but like, he's not that. He's a good quarterback. The problem is, do you want to be the one that pays him fucking quarterback one money that right now on your route? Like, you want that captain on your team? And like, there's probably 20 other teams that say yes, and Cowboys fans, there's 60% of Cowboys fans probably say no. But like, at this point, what are you going to get better than him? He is a good quarterback. He's an elite level NFL quarterback. He probably could have won an MVP last year.
Probably.
But fantasy speaking, I mean, yeah, he's a top 5, top 6, top 7 quarterback.
So
you want him on your squad.
Knowing his long-term future in Dallas is maybe uncertain. That's besides the point when it comes to fantasy. CeeDee Lamb still has Brandon Cooks. And in my opinion, we'll get into this when we talk about tight ends. But he's got Ferguson, who I think is going to have a crazy year this year. And I could be wrong, but we'll see. All right, so let's see. Who else did – okay, Mr. Jared Goff. I've got Jared Goff as a tier 2 quarterback this year, boys. What I saw last year, and even the year before that, really kind of opened my eyes to Jared Goff. I mean, he ranked 2nd in passing yards, 2nd in attempts, 2nd in completions, and 4th in passing touchdowns last year.
He's got a lot of weapons around him, too.
He's got a bunch of weapons. He's got a deep threat that can take the top off the defense with Jameson Williams, and he's got a route-running machine in Amon-Ra St. Brown who can run whatever route you want.
Targeted tight end, who I was talking about earlier.
And he's got that tight end who's a big body, right?
Yeah, big body.
Running back wise, he may have top 3 running back room. Depending, I don't want to jump to conclusions here, but Jamar Gibbs may be a top back in the league. Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about.
He's Jamal Charles, dog.
Yeah, he's different, bro. He got a little Jay Charles in him. That's a great comparison.
But as far as Goff, I don't think he's tier. I think he's in that. If there was 3 tiers, he'd be in that 3rd tier for me.
Okay. He finished 2nd in passing yards, 2nd in attempts, and 2nd in completions.
He's not as consistent.
Okay.
Because when they go outside,
you're right.
When you go outside, his numbers drop.
You're right. I hear you. And when we talk about outside, we're talking about outside of a stadium, an outdoor stadium.
Still somebody should be rostered. Still somebody you probably should look at drafting if you don't have a quarterback, say, come around 7 or 8, 9. You should be looking at quarterbacks if he's there. That's the guy you could be all right with having on your squad.
Okay. All right. Last one for this tier 2.
T-Law.
I don't know. I know he lost his number 1 ranked receiver, Calvin Ridley. He's gone. Understand. He's entering his 4th season. It may be a little uncertain of what we're going to see from him this year. He finished last year 17th ranked as far as fantasy points. He ranked that's total, but he ranked 6th in fantasy from week 11 on. So he was putting points up towards the end of the year when it mattered. But I mean, obviously, fantasy for us and for everybody else, we need him all the time.
Yeah, I think they have a down year, though. I think with the Texans on the come up, and I think a healthy Anthony Richardson, I think the Colts are going to be something to mess with.
That's a good point.
I mean, I know in a fantasy, scheme, it doesn't always translate. But I just think I don't think the Jags are going to be quite what they used to be.
Yeah,
or what they were the past couple years.
He has the ability to run, but there's a lack of designed rushing plays for him. Like every single time he runs the ball, it's off of a pass play, And so like he creates off of plays that are just called.
But I'll be honest with you, I think I actually a couple years ago, 2 years ago, no, it wasn't last year, maybe the year before. I think I had Trevor Lawrence on my team, and I didn't draft him being like, oh yeah, I'm going to get rushing yards like you would a Cam Newton or a Jalen or an Anthony Richardson or a Mike Vick or a, you know what I mean? Like I just didn't. Anything that I get from him is great. But or a Josh Allen, I'm drafting Josh Allen, some of those other guys because of their rushing yards. I'm not drafting, I don't know, Trevor Lawrence for his rushing.
Sure. But I'll say this: I am thinking.
I don't know.
I'm thinking about my quarterbacks rushing the ball. So if you show me a little bit that maybe maybe he get like 300, 400 yards rushing a year.
Mm-hmm. Out of all those guys in that second tier, I am taking Trevor Lawrence
over all of them.
No.
Oh,
last, I'm thinking between him and Jared. I'm probably moving Jared Goff and him down that to, like they moved down a tier, and like Tua and
move up.
Aaron Rodgers probably move up a tier.
I like that. I hear you. Okay.
He's not a tier 2 guy for me. He's a tier 3, lower in tier 3 to tier 4 guy for me.
I feel that.
If I'm drafting Tua before him, I'm probably drafting. I'm probably drafting Aaron Rodgers before him.
I got you. So I'll add in my.
I'm probably drafting Baker before him, to be honest with you.
No, I don't think I'm just because the upside for Trevor is there. He had a lot of drops last year in Jacksonville. That's the problem. Part of his lack of production is the drops that they had. I think they had the most drops in the league. It's something that was ridiculous. It's ridiculously high.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna fill in the other.
Just fill them all in, huh?
Yeah, just so you know, I wasn't sleeping on it. I did a full rankings on everybody. I
believe it.
We're already on time wise, so I was like, shit.
Who's your top tier?
So top tier. We'll start with this one. We'll start here. I got Jalen Hurts, and now again, this is not in any order. This is just top tier. Statistically, he's coming off his best NFL season, 15 rushing touchdowns. He and Josh Allen both tied last year for 15. No fun fact of the day: no other quarterback surpassed 7 last year, which is, that's double the touchdowns right there. So despite playing with a knee
on
injury,
the 1 yard line, he's getting in. They're just going to push him. They're going to
1,000.
carry him and place him in.
Now to that point, losing Jason Kelce may hurt the offense and may hurt the push tush a little bit, but to their excitement, the tush push was not banned. It's still legal. They can run it. So I believe they'll run it, obviously, whenever they can. Mm-hmm. The Eagles did struggle down the stretch. I think everyone saw that happening. They lost to Tampa Bay in the playoffs, but he finished just behind Justin Allen with fantasy points, 21.5, averaging 21.5 each week. So I have Jalen Hurts in my top tier.
Yep, I would as well. Who you got next? Let me guess.
Absolutely top tier.
Absolutely. Okay.
The problem with Hurts is they just signed Barkley, so maybe he eats into his touchdowns a little bit, but it's still a pass heavy offense.
Sure.
He's still going to run the ball. He might have some taken out, like again, some opportunity because of Barkley, but again, Barkley is also injury prone. So if he goes out, they're going to put more of a rushing load on Hurts.
Yep.
Those mobile guys, they get a little wear and tear on him. I hope he stays healthy, but he's a top 2-3 guy to take.
Agreed. Okay, following him,
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson, tier 1 superstar level. Obviously, we know what he is. Entering his 7th season, and does it feel like it's his 7th season to y'all? Because to me, I feel like it's his 4th.
Time flying, yeah.
Flying. Y'all some old motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Last year, so last year they got a new OC, Todd Monken. Lamar played all 16 games for the first time. He had a career high in passing yards. He led all QBs in rushing, of course.
Yeah, dude, that's a guy that you get.
Supporting cast, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, had Odell Beckham last year. He has since left the organization. They now have added Derrick Henry, who I think when we get into running backs, we'll dive into there. But I honestly think Derrick Henry might have a monster year. And really just Lamar's dual threat ability, it's going to shine regardless. He may have a shitty game, right? The whole game, 3 quarters, he may have a shitty game, but that fourth quarter, he will make up, or those superstars will make up those points in that fourth quarter, almost guaranteed, unless they get hurt or some shit. He's got to be tier 1. No?
Yeah, I mean, health,
100%.
Health is a factor, but I mean,
sure.
Again, like you're saying, explosive. The way he runs the ball, I think Henry eats into a little bit of that.
Sure. Yep.
You make sure he stays healthy, but make sure he stays healthy. I want to see him like everybody talked about the quarterbacky stuff. Like he could sit in the pocket, like he gets passing yards and like he.
Remember last year that bitch said quarterbacky.
Like I mean, he's fantasy wise, even from an NFL production standpoint, not fantasy wise, he's an elite quarterback. You want him on your squad. I can't believe the league colluded like that and got away with it. And he was
dog.
Two picks could have got the Atlanta Falcons the first round.
You can't believe it.
You think you'd rather not? You want him instead of
I'm starting to be able to believe that shit easily now.
But I mean, basically, do you want Michael Vick in his prime? Is that he's probably a better passer than Vick?
Yeah. Yep.
You know.
All right, moving on. I think everybody knows this guy.
Who is that? Where's your little thing?
The crazy thing
from Texas, the little soundbite.
Oh yeah, right. Austin Tick.
He's from White House, Texas.
Yeah. The thing is, the crazy thing about Patty is that he saw a career low in stats last year, and that's including yards per attempt, touchdown rate, and interception rate. Well, actually, he led the league in interception rate. Okay. So, like, even despite those challenges, largely due to probably the weakest set of receivers in the league last year, still won the bowl. But that doesn't really translate to fantasy points, right?
But I'd still take his ass, bro.
I still have to put him in there with the key additions of, and I'll be real with you, the Marquise Brown addition was like great in my opinion. But when they got Xavier Worthy in the draft, that made the Marquise Brown addition to me even so much more impressive. X is going to take the top off the defense. The other side is going to be contained by Rashee Rice. And Marquise Brown is going to tear it up. Him and Travis Kelce are going to fucking eat this year. I honestly feel like they're going to eat this year. Having Patty to be able to dissect a defense, it doesn't matter what the defense throws at you at this point, right? It could be something he's never seen before. You're okay with it. You got the players. Patty finished 8th amongst QBs in fantasy last year, and it felt like he didn't even do much.
Yeah, so, I mean, he is wild. You got to keep him up there. As long as he is in the league with that coach and that core group intact.
That's a good point. That's a great point, coach.
You gotta have like the organization, like as they are now, until there's some type of like Belichick Brady breakup and everybody starts going their own way and the dynasty splits up.
Until that happens,
he's got to be. Until that happens, he's got to be there.
Yep. I could
clip that one. Clip that one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what our boy does with the weapons he got. What's the coach's name? Off the top of my head, can't think. Holmgren, not Holmgren. Looks like Chet Holmgren.
The coach, Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. I'm excited to see he draws up kind of motions and stuff. He draws up those burners. I would imagine X is probably the go guy, and Hollywood's probably like the motion guy. But
yep, I would too. What position is that usually the motion?
Motion usually the Z.
Z. Yep. Okay.
Or I guess it's the ancient some schemes because they got the slot, whatever. But yeah, but I just want to see what Amy draws up. I think he has a bounce back year. I would definitely in the top tier.
Y'all be on the lookout for some of our plays breakdown come the season. Bum will have to break down some plays. Bum, that's gonna be live. Bum.
But again, the rushing comes into effect, and I mean he didn't need that much rushing whenever he was balling out a couple years ago. But I definitely think he's back for another bounce back year. I mean, top 4 quarterback for sure.
Yep. Okay. All right.
And I tell you what, if you're
we didn't talk about him, but I added.
I tell you what, if you're in a draft and the people you're with don't think that, snag his ass.
Snag him.
Good for you.
Yeah, if you're around like 5 or 6, you need a quarterback and he's still there. Yeah, 4 or 5, 6. Yeah, Mahomes. Yeah, let me get Mahomes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, and
what's his
last
name?
but not least, I know I told you I only got 4.
Gotta be, yeah.
Yep, Josh Allen. I mean, this guy, he too is entering his 7th season. Does it feel like it?
That's crazy, bro.
It feels more like it with him than it does Lamar for some reason. I don't know. Maybe because Lamar missed the whole year, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen's been really a fantasy powerhouse. I mean, he averages 20. He averaged
back number 1,
25 points per game over the past 3 years for fantasy. That's the best. That's the best among all quarterbacks.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty crazy, bro. Like that just kind of.
He's such a good quarter. Like he's a fun quarterback to watch. He's fucking slinging the ball downfield, bombing that bitch.
What's even better is he
runs it up for 100 yards. He lost some weapons too, but I still think he's going to get multiple 100-yard games.
They got some dudes. They got some dudes.
What's crazy is his passing yards and his rushing yards last year were the fewest since 2019 passing and 2020 rushing.
Yeah, they didn't have as many quarterback design runs for him last year. But his runs
however,
scrambling really.
However, his 15 rushing touchdowns made up for that.
Yeah.
So he loses Stephon Diggs. He loses Gabe Davis to free agency. But they signed Curtis Samuel and they drafted the rookie Keon Coleman from Florida State, who, in my opinion, is I'm not going to say he's going to be this guy. I'm just saying he reminds me body type, athletic type, size-wise of Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, my God.
He's got that, like, he's not a burner. He's got that size, that strength. He's big body. Week 1 last year in college, I'll never forget. They ran a play. Yeah. And he knew he had the corner beat. He knew it. And they didn't throw him the ball. In the very next play, he's looking at the quarterback lined up. He gets lined up. He's looking at the quarterback. He's just throw me the shit deep and threw it to him deep. Touchdown. It was live. It was live.
Larry Fitzgerald. So you're saying this guy?
No, this was Keon Coleman who did that.
No, I know. But you're comparing him to Larry Fitzgerald. So you're saying he's going to be one of the best ever and have a fucking 16-year career. Like that guy was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Is that guy still in the league? Is he still in the league?
Fitz, no, he's been
Fitz, no. But
I don't fucking know.
Maybe I shouldn't compare him. He reminds me, his body style, his play type reminds me of Fitz.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Fitzgerald was fucking unreal.
Don't forget about Dalton Kincaid either.
Oh,
he got weapons.
Thank you.
He got weapons.
Dalton Kincaid may end the year as the tight end 1.
There's a lot of good tight ends.
Hey, isn't that crazy? Because 3 years ago or 2 years ago, there was like 2, because all the tight ends were young.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're like, let's fucking go type shit.
Bro, going back to that comparison,
mm-hmm.
you actually, I don't know if you looked it up beforehand or you just thought that.
No,
they're actually the exact same body type, listed 1 inch away from each other, exact same weight, and Fitz played 17 years. So Keon Coleman's got
17 years in the NFL is crazy.
Some work to do. Fuck, 17 years, bro. Come on now.
I remember watching that dude
finish 2 in receiving. I'm pretty sure it's 2.
That dude played A&M at Pitt when I was in high school. I want to go see that shit.
Let's not talk about high school boys.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so look, that's the tiers. Now you've noticed I've thrown in some of the other guys as I've gone in. I mean, all the starters are pretty much in there.
I mean, the only other one that I might toss on a fucking C, maybe a B is like Kyler, right?
Oh yeah. Where's he at? Kyler. I would put Kyler in maybe a B or a C.
Yeah, like C, B.
Split them tiers up. And
They love. I'll tell you what, the analysts love them. Some Marvin Harrison Jr. So, like they're talking about him getting like 10 targets a game.
Well, then he could move up the list if he's got a guy that's catching.
I don't really see anybody else significant to throw up there. Everybody else is pretty much on the waiver wire, undraftable.
Yeah,
agreed.
Is that freaking Andy
Dalton?
That dude's our age, and dude's my age. Yeah, because he graduated with Nick.
That's right. Nick loves him. Nick loves him. I love Nick. I miss Nick. Where's Nick? Where's Nick?
He's had a baby sometime soon.
Nick?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm tripping. I was like,
his wife's
no, Andy Dalton.
No, Andy. Okay. So to wraps it up. First of all, let me hit the screen share. Okay. To wraps it up, this is usually our bet that, where we are betting some bread, but it's a little bit different. This is not we're not putting it on the board or nothing like that. But prediction wise, all right, let's go ahead and point it out. Big ones and twos.
I did call that bet that
right
early before the Euros started, but I'm just saying
that was a great call.
I lose every single other one.
No, you lost the basketball ones. This is a different sport.
Yeah. I'm ready to go for football. I got some fucking
football podcast.
Well, yeah.
I got some fucking locks.
So the prediction side, I just want to know your predictions. Each one of you, your predictions of the quarterback that's going to finish the year as the number one fantasy ranked quarterback this year. And if y'all want me to go first, I will go first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
And I'm not just saying this to troll you guys. I'm being serious.
Okay.
I'm being serious. I think Dak Prescott does it.
Okay.
And to go back to what I asked you,
I feel like there's a little troll there.
No.
There's a little troll.
No. I think the Cowboys.
Bum, you feel that? No.
A little bit. I think the Cowboys go over. I asked you earlier. I think the Cowboys go over 10.5, and I think Dak Prescott ends in the top spot.
Joe said y'all old.
That's what I think.
Okay. Cowboys' problem is their defense. It's gonna all be their defense.
Who's our DC? Who's our DC, Bum?
We got.
Means they're gonna be throwing a lot.
Zimmer. Yeah, that's what happened last year.
That's right.
Zimmer, the dude from he was previously.
Big ones and twos. You got love showing you in the chat.
I'm telling you, they're gonna be throwing a lot. Their defense is a problem. They're going to be tossing the rock. They're going to be down or tied.
You don't have any running back.
Lead them back.
Drew, I felt like there was some sarcasm in his answer. I'm just saying.
Didn't draft no running back.
I'm just playing.
Running back.
I'm being serious.
We're going to be slinging the rock. Yeah, that's for sure.
That's literally what I told Joe earlier. This is
said you like that tight end. You just said you like the tight end, and CD might be the best receiver in the league.
I'm not. I agree with you. We're going to be slinging the rock.
So if things can slow down for Dak a little bit, if he can get ready, but in the first half, like he plays
the first half of the season,
forgive these navy and silver tinted glasses. We're a little gun shy. We've been abused.
Listen, I don't want to throw my team no props.
I think the potential is there, and I'm just going to go on record. That's my pick. I'm taking Dak.
Okay.
I'll do you one better, James. I'll return your favor.
I knew you were going CJ Stroud.
My pick is CJ Stroud.
I knew it, bro. God damn it.
And I don't mean it in any kind of a CJ way either. I think that fool is cold. I think he's the next thing. He's going to step out and show some people, what it's about to be again. Last year was not a fluke. I like that dude. He's all the talent around him. I think their fifth best receiver is probably a third best receiver on some of their teams' rosters. They got dudes and. Yeah. He did lose his coordinator. So
hey, look what Joe said. He said, "Oh my God, here we go, biscuit." Okay, so we're all answering this question, assuming everyone stays healthy, makes it all the way through. Assuming that, I feel like this is a bit of a cop out, but I'm going to go Lamar Jackson. If he can stay healthy, Zay Flowers may be a problem this year. I don't know if they added anybody else receiving core. I'll need to go look, but the addition to Derrick Henry to me and having Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers. I mean, you have Harbaugh.
Mark Andrews back for sure.
Not even that. The other tight end, he's cold as fuck too.
Oh, Likely from Coastal?
Isaiah Likely. He's cold and big. So I think Lamar Jackson ends up as the QB1. He's got to stay healthy. I'll say this. My honorable mention, if, say, he gets hurt, maybe a flyer, Anthony Richardson.
Oh.
He's got to stay healthy too, though.
2 second-year guys on the fringe for you guys.
Young guys.
Well, yeah. So our 3 picks are Dak, Lamar, and CJ. Boy, that's going to be a hell of a playoff.
I mean, one of them.
They're all going to be in the mix, man. They're all going to be winning games for sure.
Yeah. Agreed.
Oh,
so, just to recap, we ran over the QB strategy. Really, just depending on your league, obviously, how many people are in it. If you're in a 2 quarterback league or not, obviously you're doubling down on QBs. The tiers of quarterbacks. I know some of mine, you guys is like, but also I did cramp them up a little bit more. Maybe in the next one when we do, because we're doing running backs next, I'll spread it out a little bit more.
Okay.
But yeah, so we hit the quarterbacks. Next up, I feel that Dro. He said Anthony Richardson has a big hill to climb, but he looked special in the 4 games he played last year, which he did. And he really surprised me last year. I didn't realize he was fucking Cam Newton size, but he's massive.
Was big.
All right, before we get out of here, I know I asked you earlier, James, but let me just re-ask. College football 25. Anybody, how y'all feel about it? Y'all excited? I know Friday when it comes out, I'm just gonna be real with y'all. I'm in.
I'm not gonna get it because I don't play as much as I used to.
Fair.
But if I'm over at somebody's crib and hanging out,
you'll run a little doubles action.
Yeah, I'll play. I'll pick up. I'll dust the cobwebs off a little bit, but I'm not going to
knock the dust
off. I'm not going to do the dynasty mode with. I did see something online though
with Marshall.
Where a guy said he was a UAB fan from Birmingham, Alabama, and he ran a dynasty with Alabama for 2 seasons, recruited nothing but 1- and 2-star recruits, then left the job to go for UAB, and then whipped Alabama's ass.
That's funny.
Hey, how much time do you think that took, buddy?
Hating that shit, dog. What the fuck?
But he must have been a college student, bro. Had to have been a college student.
You know what? That's the kind of college fandom and dedication that we need. That's gonna bring the country together. We need football. Let's go,
bro. We really do. We really do. So, all right. Well, with that said, next week we cover running backs. After that, we hit wide receivers, tight ends. I don't think we're going to do defenses. We could if y'all want to, but either way, we'll cover the main positions. Yeah. We'll see y'all next time. I love y'all. I miss y'all. Everybody in the chat. Dro, appreciate you. Nody.
Sure.